All right, back to Nigerian in Focus. Former public protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane is the latest high-profile politician to quit the Economic Freedom Fighters as a party member and member of parliament. Her resignation follows that of the EFF former Deputy President Floyd Shivambu, Mzwanele Manyi, as well as recently Fana Mokoena, among others. She joins us now to tell us where to next. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time this evening. Has the dust settled? You broke the news, made the announcement. Your fellow fighters gave their reaction, a mixed one, but has it settled? Did you expect the kind of reaction that this would have caused?
Thank you so much, Thabo, and thank you for inviting me and to the listeners and viewers of Newzroom. I would say it was, I didn't expect some of the reactions, resigning and leaving and, just saying I needed time to reflect and spend time with the family, especially after everything which has happened. 2024 was not an easy year for me and my family.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those issues. I mean, you say in your own words that the party has got brilliant, excellent policies. If they're allowed a chance to get into some kind of department or some kind of governance, they can make a meaningful contribution. What struck me is that they had brilliant policies, but the policies were not enough to keep you in the party. Why?
They are very experienced, leadership. The Central Command team who are very much experienced in politics. I might not have a lot of expertise as far as being a politician and, operate at that level. A technocrat more than being a politician. But I think for the past 12 months, I've learned a lot. And I thought it best to, especially with my personal challenges, not to block any space in Parliament so that they can find possibly other politicians or experienced and young ones who can also assist in contributing to Parliament. Yeah. Remember, I also spoke about the issue of the numbers, and the numbers I was referring to was nothing to do with currently whether I'm checking other political parties. It was based on the fact that it's not easy to operate in Parliament with the numbers. If you don't have enough numbers, it's a numbers game. And in the 6th administration, remember ANC had 230 members, DA 84 or 85. So you'd find that whatever good proposal you make, they don't even engage on it objectively, but then they just object to it, or they don't approve it or vote for it because it depends who brought it forth. So it's a very difficult space to maneuver if you don't have numbers in Parliament. Yes, indeed, the EFF has performed brilliantly in the municipalities where they have councillors and they have public representatives.
The other critic that I've seen is the one that says, and I don't know how you take it, your ungratefulness, that you were ungrateful when you were taken in and there were other fighters who were there for a long time. You were taken to Parliament, but you seem to have not taken that on board and you just up and left.
It's surprising because, for the past 12 months, those fighters, if they would just ask fighters in Mpumalanga, in the sub-region where I come from, how we worked, and especially the Mpumalanga province. With the fighters, I put my all, I sacrificed my all. And remember, I joined EFF as well, not to say I was not having any standing in society, and I had my challenges, and indeed, I appreciated the fact that they've embraced me, and I have contributed a lot. It's strange because, by availing that space in parliament, I'm also acknowledging that I might not be able to fully, contribute to the political space. Possibly there are those young and experienced members of EFF who can occupy that space. So it's strange that I would be labeled as if I'm ungrateful. And I think I indicated the challenges I'm facing, the court cases, the persecution by the judiciary, persecution by the executive, persecution by the legislature. I mean, all arms of the state. So, and feeling that, let me just now focus on family. And it was worse because we had a family bereavement, and there were party commitments which I thought it would be impossible for me to commit to, especially going to do the ground forces work. And I then decided with my family that let me just move out for now, and let's focus on those challenges which one is facing and how we will chart the way forward. I would say as well, I contributed a lot, not only time, even resources. Because if you are a public representative within EFF, you also then are expected to be available to assist the ground forces with resources and everything. And indeed, that's what happened. And going up and down, using transport and everything, I fully committed myself, and I think now it was a stage where I couldn't completely meet that requirement, and I felt it best to just move, take it a step further, in fact, a backward step, and allow the party to fully utilize my space.
Yeah. I want to come because I want to give you time to speak about this question that you're raising of professional prosecution. But I want us to wrap your departure so that all these issues around your departure are ventilated. I mean, we might not be able to ventilate all of them. The issue of not being fully utilized is what I suppose baffles a lot of people, where you're saying, well, I've made a great contribution, but I feel I'm not being fully utilized here in my expertise. What do you mean by that?
Not really. I don't know why it baffles people, because I'm a technocrat. I'm not a politician. So possibly that's one thing which you are expected to, perform political work. When I don't have that, I only have my technocrat expertise. I mean, being the former public protector for the past almost 7 years, and there would be other contributions which I would have made, but unfortunately, it's operating in a political space. So I don't think it's fair for people just to read a lot out of that.
Yeah. Others might say you might have been a public protector, a technocrat, but there are those who are criticizing you for operating politically, even in that office in certain instances.
Thabo, that one, actually, I don't have any other explanation to make, because you remember I explained myself several times that I was operating in a political space. the Executive Members Ethics Act, which is the only legislation which the Public Protector is expected to enforce against politicians, especially those who are ministers and the president. And those complaints were lodged by members of parliament and a lot by DA, against their political opponents. Unfortunately, then I don't have any further energy or, to explain myself.
Yeah.
Those who are interested in, or those who have ears, they would hear and they would comprehend what it means to be a public protector operating in a political space.
You are now, of course, saying, I am looking at my options, I'm weighing my options, but I'm being professionally prosecuted. I would like to go to, for example, a place like the UN or the African Union, deal with human rights related issues. But I don't think that would be possible in the current dispensation. So I'm weighing my offers. I've got to eat. I've got to take care of my children. I've got to pay debt. What does that mean?
It means exactly that. I mean, with this current administration, who would employ me, any SOE, to be a board member or to work in any company? Because, I mean, to me, it's my persecution, Thabo, it went to a level where I was even discussed when the leadership was attending meetings in New York, because the funders were asking, when are you getting rid of that woman? So, the only option which is there for me indeed is if you have institutions like those. I know the UN might also be very much compromised in some aspects, but then there would be other UN organizations where one can contribute, or AU as well. There are challenges, but, I'm weighing my options indeed. And it's true. One has to feed her family,
Have you made such overtures, to such organizations where you would have felt, I'm not going to be welcomed here, or there are people possibly who might block my advancement in this particular institution, even if I tried?
There would be instances. And I mean, there are several instances where some of my professional friends were, kind of blocked in whatever they would want to do because of their relations or, working, or their proximity to me. I mean, look at how Simpofu is persecuted, and other, professionals who, like your advocates, like Abos Kakane, who worked with me and who are still defending me, because it's just a very big political, or, people just fighting whilst one was performing her responsibilities. And that's all I would just currently say, Thabo. And hence I said, for now, let me rest. Let me weigh my options. Remember as well, there are those personal costs. There are those costs from the courts, just clobbering me with costs left, right, and center, exactly for the same reason, to just make sure that I suffer and my family suffers.
Is this a deflated you at this particular point? I mean, the last case would have been that of your gratuity. Are you still going to pursue that, or is this you saying, look, I don't even have energy for that at this point?
No, I will pursue it. Luckily, Advocate Mpofu and the team, they are willing to go from strength to strength, bounce and bounce. I know he's been attacked and accused of, cashing in on me. A number of cases he's done it without any payment. And because he's just pursuing justice, he's willing to do the cases no matter what. So hopefully one day we will receive justice, and one day I'll be able to pay him and the legal team.
Look, if we are to be frank with what other people are saying, and you've already mentioned that part of the decision is a family-related conversation that would have happened. The word out there, many people are saying, well, your husband is part of MK. It would make absolute sense that you yourself would go and be a part of that organization, understanding also your relationship with former President Jacob Zuma in terms of how you relate at a political level, but maybe even at a personal level. What would be wrong about that analysis?
It wouldn't be wrong, because when I was saying MK has approached me, or we've been speaking about that, I'm married to an MK commander. So I've been speaking with my husband and friends and some professionals who are members of MK. So, it's a free country, and the Constitution guarantees anyone's right to belong to any political party or be a political member. I wonder why we are so focused in attacking each other. I mean, we have a GNU, or so-called coalition, which we should be putting all our energy in fighting, and because they maintain the status quo of oppression, unemployment, poverty, and inequality, and we're busy just discussing this. Currently, we have children dying. Tabo, you were just interviewing somebody. South Africa is like in a war. I mean, the way people are dying, the way people are being killed, I think that's what we should be putting our energy on.
Yeah. You, of course, are keeping your eye on the coming 2026 elections. You're saying it's a good point where we need to have a progressive caucus. But in the same breath, you're saying there are certain things that are not for you, like democratic centralism. But I mean, which organization politically does not have that? It's not like you're going to go to the MP and not find, to the MK, I beg your pardon, and not find democratic centralism.
I think as well that has been caution. I said, one of the things, that's one thing I was exposed to. I never knew about it. Unfortunately, yes, if you join any organization, you'll have to be subjected to that. But I think sometimes, robust debates and consultation, it will help. It's one thing which, for me, was like I never understood until I was in, and I said, maybe it's learning. Maybe I was just mentioning it, that there's things which you would then ask or wonder, because indeed, that also, it shows you that it's not only the president who just decides what I do and when I do it. It means the president as well is bound by the leadership of the organization. So he wouldn't just come and say, tomorrow you don't do A, B, C, D, without the decision of the collective. So those are the things which one will be, is learning, and indeed understanding that, okay, this is how politics are operating.